Hi, Ben here from Trident Fly Fishing, and I'm excited today to bring you a comparison test of two of the best trout rods on the market. I'm talking about the Loomis Asquith versus the Loomis NRX LP. Now, the Asquith is new for this year, and it's one of the hottest releases, so let's start by taking a look at this new product from Loomis. The Asquith starts out much like the NRX LP, a single lock blocking reel seat followed by an attractive insert. Then as we move up, we've got a reverse half-wells grip, again, very similar. Then we get to the blank, and that's where all the technology that's built into the Asquith starts to kick in. And Loomis calls it their Spiral X technology. It makes it a lighter and more accurate rod while making it just as strong, if not stronger, than the old NRX LP. More importantly though, it's got a great sort of shimmering green look to it. It's very, very pretty. Loomis has included alignment dots for us, which is something we really like. Saves you a little bit of time on the water, and titanium stripping guides and snake guides. Really the only big difference here from the NRX LP is that they've opted for a more traditional stripping guide than the recoil guides on the NRX. But now let's get to the most important part, which is how these rods cast. Let's check it out. Starting out with the Asquith at 30 feet, it's pretty clear that this series is more focused on the in-close than the NRX was. Like the 8-weight, I really love how the Asquith casts at short distances. 30 feet, it is just awesome. And maybe one of the best 5-weights I've ever cast. I'd say it's a 10 out of 10 at 30 feet. Switching over to the NRX at 30 feet, it's really clear that the Asquith is the better rod. Whereas the Asquith gives you nice tight loops, the NRX feels a little bit clunky almost. Which is hard to say for a rod that's one of the top contenders at 30 feet, but the Asquith is really just that much better. So if the Asquith is a 10, the NRX is probably a 9 at 30 feet. Let's see how they both do at 45. Backing up to 45 feet, which in our view is kind of the key distance for most trout anglers, the Asquith is still a really great rod. It's got enough subtlety where you need it and enough power to bang it out there with ease. It's also really, really accurate and very light in hand. Really curious to see how that NRX LP is going to compare. Now I've got the NRX at 45 feet, and I gotta say it's pretty similar to the Asquith. I enjoy casting them both at this key trout distance, and they're both pretty similar. I'm gonna give them both a 9.5 out of 10. They're great rods. They do this really, really well. If there's anything I'd say for the NRX is I think it'd be a better overall nymphing rod. You know, if you want to open up that loop, it just does it a little bit easier. Whereas the Asquith is just a better dry fly rod, giving you more consistent casts and tighter loops. Backing up to our final distance of 60 feet, I'm really enjoying casting the Asquith. It's got a lot of line speed, and it's pretty easy to get out there. One of the things that the NRX LP was lacking versus rods like the Hardy Zephyrus was this 60-foot distance. And I'm really curious to see how the two rods are gonna compare at 60 feet. But right now, I'm really liking this Asquith. Last but not least, I've got the NRX LP at 60 feet. This is always a distance where I've felt that other rods have had an advantage over the NRX. NRX is a great rod for delicate presentations. It's not necessarily the highest line speed, best rod to sling it out there forever. Casting it again today, I actually think it casts pretty well at 60 feet. And very similar overall to the Asquith, but the Asquith is just easier. It gives you that line speed with much less effort. The NRX LP gets a 9 out of 10 at 60 feet, whereas the Asquith is just a tiny bit better with a 9.5 out of 10. So after casting both the Asquith and the NRX LP, I can tell you I really enjoyed both of the rods. It's been a little while since I cast the LP, and it was nice to A/B it against this newer Asquith. Overall, rods are more similar than different. And I'd say the Asquith edges out the LP at the 30-foot and 60-foot distances, ironically. And it's just a lighter, more fun to cast, more fun to fish rod overall. The Asquith retails for $1,000 and ships with free second-day air from tridentflyfishing.com. If you have questions about this rod or want to talk to one of our gear geeks, give us a call at 888-413-5211 or email us 24/7 at support@tridentflyfishing.com. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, leave us a note in the box below. I'm Ben. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.